Oh, hey, you two. You're watching The Brandon Show. TBS. I am the voice of the voiceless, the speech of the speechless, the sleep of the sleepless. What? I'm not sure that last one made any sense. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm tired. There's a thunderstorm. This channel is all about keeping it real. Probably should have power off, but I'm here recording a commentary and playing a game for you guys. All three of you who subscribe to this channel. Metal Gear Solid 1, Twin Snakes in this case. This is the remake and came out in what, 03, 04? The original came out in 98 on the PS1. Also on the PC, but who cares about that? I'm just kidding. Master race of PC gamers. You guys are cool. So, what I want to talk about with Metal Gear Solid 1 isn't... It's not going to be the whole bang bang shoot the enemy, save the princess storyline that you get in a lot of video games, or particularly reflected in a lot of the media that we see. I would watch the channel, which shall remain nameless because I'm not uploaded to it yet, where the host said she was surprised that video games could tell stories, or they're medium storylines. I think Metal Gear Solid is the game, the epitome of cinematic experience. In fact, if anything, it gets criticized of being more cinematic than it is gameplay. A lot of people say that I watched Metal Gear Solid, I didn't play Metal Gear Solid, or a cutscene Gear Solid, or whatever joke she has a thing of. For me, on a personal level, this game and I've played this game since I was either 9 or 10. It's ridiculous. I love this game. I played this game. How many people can say they've played a game roughly 15 to 20 times? I don't think many people can say they played a game 5 times. This game I legitimately played either 15 to 20 times. I'm I guess, an old man now in his 3rd year of university. But the influence this game has, and I came to a realization as I was talking about 30 seconds ago. Oh, by the way, look at this. Solid Snake. All cool. Liquid Snake. All cool. The realization I came to about Metal Gear Solid and I is Metal Gear Solid taught me about politics. It taught me about nuclear proliferation. It taught me about treaties. It taught me about ICBMs, which I didn't know existed. A lot of people in university I'm in now don't know what an ICBM is. Metal Gear Solid taught me all this. It taught me about paths. It taught me about all these aspects. It taught me about politics in the sphere of control and power and budgets, genetic information. It taught me all these things. So my quest, I guess you could argue, is my entire political existence, my reason for taking political science in university, I'm up to my 3rd year, is to understand Metal Gear Solid. How many people can say a game inspired them to further their education? I don't think many people can say that. I would argue Metal Gear Solid is the Star Wars of the gaming world. And what I mean by that is Star Wars influenced all these peoples to open their imagination, and so many directors credit Star Wars as the reason they got into the industry. It's a very high compliment. In modern days, we've seen the influence of Metal Gear Solid through games like Assassin's Creed, which take the stealth element and incorporate it. But what Metal Gear Solid is so great at is that it's not just... it sounds a little ridiculous saying this, but it's not just a video game. It's challenging you. It's challenging the government. It's challenging the way you think of the system. It's challenging the way you believe what is true, what is not true, what might be true, who you trust, who you don't trust. All these things are questioned in Metal Gear Solid. There are people in this game that you or spend hours talking to, and they turn out to be the bad guy, which is a classic twist in all video games. But what's different is this also applies with the government. It's teaching you that the governments are extraordinarily fickle. They don't believe in certain ideals, but they believe in an idea of self-motivation, I guess. But that's a lot more. No one wants to hear me go on a political rant here. But the idea of Metal Gear Solid And the core takeaway with Metal Gear Solid 1, there's 2, 3, and 4, which take a little steer off the road, come back on the road. It's a little wacky as it goes on. It's this idea of mean, gene, scene, and what is it? I think it's same. One of those. But it's teaching you that you're not limited by your genetic potential. Hold on, this is the greatest dialogue in Metal Gear Solid history. I went here for this one. A surveillance camera?
Surveillance camera.
Yeah, there are weird moments in Metal Gear Solid. It is a Japanese game, so there are some crazy weird dialogue moments, but it's teaching you to think beyond genetic potential, or what your potential is. Solid Snake is not a genetic super beast, I guess you could say. He's not your Superman. He's a very flawed man. He gets angry, he gets depressed, he gets emotional, he falls in love, he goes through all these changes in Metal Gear Solid that, by the way, this is the most exciting gameplay you've ever seen. I'm chasing rats. I'm including all this because I really want to talk about Metal Gear Solid. It's a backdrop, god damn, it's a backdrop. But it's the cinematic experience I want to go back to. You don't get this experience with, say, a movie where you are detached from Leonardo DiCaprio. You're detached from, I don't know, George Clooney. You're detached from these guys. In Metal Gear Solid, you're controlling Leonardo DiCaprio or George Clooney in Solid Snake. So you care about his success, you care about his failures, you feel when he's depressed or when he's down or when he's successful. You want him to succeed. You want to further this game. You want to see it to the end. You want to see him fight through all these bureaucracy of training. He is a government agent, I guess you'd say, and he's spying and he's trying to save the world. But he has so many personal problems that can't be told or understood through a different medium. Let's just look at the example of the creator of the game, Hideo Kojima. He's, I wouldn't say the Steven Spielberg of video games because he's not that prolific, but he is a genius at Metal Gear Solid, which I think means a lot. He grew up in an era, he was obviously Japanese, but when he was growing up, they were still living off the effects of the Hiroshima bomb. So he was taught at a young age to simulate bombing raids or to hide under the desk, which was common practice in the 60s apparently. I'm too young to know about that. But he was conditioned for war. The Cold War was such an aspect where war could break out at any time. Metal Gear Solid 3, by the way, takes place during the Cold War, for anyone who wants to play it. He was conditioned to fear war and to deter from war. I think that's a very good mindset to have for a developer, and he's explaining, yeah, you're an action game. Yeah, you're on both sides of these wars and you're trying to stop it. But war's not really his goal here. He's anti-war. It's a very anti-war message, a very anti-nuclear weapons message. Very successful, by the way. I don't know, I'm a libby lib because of these games, I guess. Let's just go for gameplay for a second here. This game, when it was designed as Metal Gear on the NES, its objective was to run away from the enemies. It was very different. It was not Rambo. It's not that you are a super soldier and you can take on anyone you want. You are actually a lot weaker than you think in this game. You are vulnerable. What a great scene. You are vulnerable beyond comprehension. You have to sneak around. You should sneak. You can do action. You can do whatever you want. It's a very flexible game, and I really appreciate the way that you can play this game and, I guess, mold or understand the character of Solid Snake. For anyone who's interested, I highly recommend you play this game, particularly the original, because the voice acting is tremendous. It adds to that cinematic experience. What you're seeing right now is upgraded graphics, which I guess everyone wants to see. But for me, I really like the voice acting in the original. And of course, I'm smoking, which is a trademark of Solid Snake. I think it's on the PSN store. Anyone who wants to should try it out. Especially listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack sets up everything in this game. I love it. I think about it often. It's probably my favorite soundtrack in any video. Well, Kingdom Hearts, but that's a different case. And this video is wrapping up. I'm gonna probably let this video take us home. But I really do want people to understand that video games aren't bang bang, shoot shoot, run. They are very deep. And if anyone wants to see how deep they can go, play this game or watch someone play it. Understand that it's a game about many different layers, and you follow his character as he's trying to save the world, and he's a human being. It's a very human element that we can all relate to. I love it. I play it yearly. Yes, that's true. I play these games yearly. It's my favorite franchise. Kingdom Hearts again, I guess is first. This video is wrapping up, guys. Yes, I've spoken for this long. Would appreciate a comment. Tell me about Metal Gear Solid, or why you don't like it, or why you do like it. Hopefully this gets uploaded to another channel, which shall remain nameless. I've been trying hard to get on that channel, guys. Been trying. Hashtag get TBS on TYT.
I'm here to save you. You're the DARPA chief.
Let the gameplay run us out, guys. Till then, like, comment, favorite, subscribe, guys. Subscribe to the Triton channel. I do this all the time. Love you guys.
I'm the pawn they sent in here to save your worthless butt.
Really? It's true. You don't look like one of them. In that case, hurry up and get me out of here.
Slow down. Don't worry. First, I want some information about the terrorists.
The terrorists?
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuke?
What are you talking about?
The terrorists are threatening the White House. They say if they don't accede to their demands, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
Sweet Jesus.